Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power Season 2 has premiered, and of course the Chuds are attacking it, predictably. You know, the bad faith haters were always going to come for it. That's their brand, that's their grift, that's how they make money. The actual real critics are saying that the show is much improved, that there are still issues, but it's a lot better than the first season. It's still not great, but it's better. They've sort of taken a bit of a look at some of the issues with season 1, and they appear to have moved past those with season 2. So why are the Chuds so upset? I saw a video from one guy, Steve Shives or something, and he was going on and on about how threatened he was by the orcs being humanized. And why was he, and why would people on his side of things, the MAGA side, the conservative alt-right side, be threatened by that? Because they work under this sort of old idea of otherism, and that basically we're all good, we're all the victim, and everyone else is bad, and they're attacking us, and we can do anything to win because we're good and they're bad, basically. This simplistic otherism that is something that's been in the media and in our culture for ever, is really a problem. And what they're trying to do with Rings of Power is trying to actually show that there is grey. It's not all black and white. And by looking at some characters like the orcs, who've always been a stand-in for whatever other you're threatened by or offended by or hate, to actually show that they're just beings who just want to live and are being forced to go to war. And then the whole issue is, well, if they didn't have a choice, are they responsible for it? Are they evil, or did they just do evil? Did they do evil because they didn't have a choice? Was it either them or the other? That's where you get into the grey, and it's interesting. Now, you do still have to work out black and white from the grey. You can't just do what some extremists on the left side do, which is make everything grey and everyone, redeemable and everything. And some people are just evil, but those never go down, straight lines of gender or race or culture or, anything like that. It always comes down to the individual and their choices. And we do still need to hold people accountable for making the wrong choices and doing bad things. But this oversimplified otherism, which puts whole classes in those categories, is something we have to move past. And, storytelling and society are evolving, and we can't stay in the past. And those people are clinging to these old narratives and these old otherism, these whole universes based around sort of that otherism. We have to get past that and evolve that. And I mean, I am not really a Tolkien fan. I didn't read the books. I saw the movies because I mainly just liked the production design, and I just watched them sort of from a distance. Didn't really get that invested, and really was just there for the effects. Now, that being said, the films are okay, but and like I said, I respect that Tolkien went to great lengths to create this really immersive world. But the story itself is still this otherism and war, and it's just from the past. We need to move past it. And a lot of people say, oh, that's sacrilege. Some might believe that artistically, but for the most part, they're just scared, insecure, threatened people who can't or don't want to think about anything, and they just want to stay in this simplified little world where you're either good or bad, and it's very easy to determine, and they can always just feel safe that they're the good guys, and it's always the other that are the bad guys. And that's just a simplistic way for unintelligent people to live, because, it's too hard otherwise. But we can't accept that. So I'm all for the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, actually moving things forward and doing what they're doing. And they don't care if the general audience follows. They don't care about ratings. So artistically, they have that integrity. But because you're never going to get the whole audience, because the tribal way that culture is now and everything, you're either one or the other. You either love it or you hate it. And anything that comes that isn't like one side is automatically otherized, and is the other. So it's a mess. But I just had to talk about it for a few minutes. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I really think that the new show is doing a good job of at least trying to get out of this sort of old wartime sort of otherism sort of idea of storytelling and culture and good and bad and all that. But the studio still cares about the audience actually watching. They want them to make sure that everyone can watch, but you just can't do that today. You either pick a side or you get put on one side or the other, and you're only going to get a third or maybe half of the audience at best. So they know that, and they're sticking to their moral integrity and their idea, and evolution and growth and all that. And of course, the others are all sticking to the past and clinging and gatekeeping and everything, and it's all a bit tragic. It'd be nice if we could find a middle ground. If the left swung back a little bit and the right, actually, opened their minds a little bit, maybe we might have an easier time living in the society. But until then, I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the whole thing.